Coral reefs are really at the front lines of climate change. They're the first major ecosystem to collapse. And in the past 30, 40 years, half of the world's reefs already dead. It'll affect 25% of all marine life. But it's also an incredibly serious socioeconomic issue because up to 1 billion people around the world depend upon coral reefs for their livelihoods.
There are plenty of idealistic schemes to regrow the world's dying reefs. But Gator Halpern and Sam Teicher, entrepreneurs turned coral farmers, think they can do it better.
And the other reef mark is more towards the big stuff.
They're growing coral 50 times faster than it grows in the wild, and pitching their product to luxury hotels, governments, and even insurance companies worldwide.
Coral restoration has been done in academic settings, right? But you guys are making a business.
Reefs are really valuable. They sustain tourism economies, they protect coastlines from storms. So if we can sell reef restoration as a service, that can help create a self-sustaining industry to pay for large-scale projects.
On like a practical level, what does that actually look like, what you guys do?
We cut the corals up into these little pieces. It's a process known as microfragmenting. So you could take one piece of coral, cut it up into a bunch of different pieces, put those pieces near each other, and it triggers a natural healing process. So the corals will fuse back together, we break them up, fuse back together. Some of them to get the size of a dinner plate could take 25 or 50 years. Now we can grow them in 6 to 12 months.
We actually, in our land-based tanks, can crank up the heat and crank up the acidity. And the corals get stressed out, and then we cool them back down. Each time you do that, the corals actually build up a bit of a tolerance.
It's a method that would make Darwin proud. Only the corals most prepared to take on climate change survive and are planted back out on the reef.
We were in a really exciting spot. We were growing 24 different species of coral, and we were getting close to outplanting those corals.
So you were riding high.
And then Dorian came. The water in Hurricane Dorian came up 17 feet above
crazy.
The waters here. So right now, that's why we're in the middle of a sort of a construction site more than an active coral farm.
And what actually happened to your nurseries? Is that the right way to say it?
Tanks.
Tanks, to your tanks.
We found like 20 of our tanks just scattered across the island.
Wow.
In these like log jams and flipped over cars. And then there'll be a coral tank there. So we've been slowly collecting them and bringing them back to the farm, patching them up, and in the next few weeks we should have them back on these stands and ready to grow coral again.
A healthy reef is a barrier, which stops waves and limits the impact of storms. But 80% of Grand Bahama's corals have died since the 70s, leaving the island unprotected. The massive devastation after Dorian is proof of concept for the farm. The island needs more reef fast. So now the farmers are back at square one, finding coral to plant in their tanks.
There's nothing about it that's going to be fun or sexy.
Not at all. You know what? In the movies, it really does look sexy.
Our coral collecting gear, nice hammer, chisel on the back, another chisel. So if we have some of the more encrusting or bouldering corals, we'll very carefully sort of knock away at the rock, and we'll be able to remove the coral.
So Eddie.
I am a pro.
Would you put a mask on? Okay, you can leave it up now.
1, 2, 3. Guys, I am so scared.
1, 2, 3. Just roll backward.
As they glide over the reef, Sam and Gator are looking for healthy examples of as many coral species as possible. They chip off small pieces to plant in their farm. They also rescue fragments of coral that were torn off the reef by the hurricane. And since the storm, they've spotted what looks like stony coral tissue loss disease, an epidemic that's ravaging Florida's reefs but has never previously been found in the Bahamas. With the impact of climate change and now Dorian, it's getting harder to find good specimens. This places salmon gator at the center of a hot debate in conservation.
So the existential question, climate change is getting worse and worse. What's the point of doing this?
There's definitely some people that feel like doing things like coral reef restoration, adaptation, resilience projects are sort of a white flag. The fact of the matter is, unfortunately though, especially when it comes to the oceans, a lot of the heat is already trapped in. So even if tomorrow we turned off the greenhouse gas spigot, the temperatures are going to keep rising.
Salmon gator are hoping to raise $2 million post-hurricane.
We have to rebuild not only this farm, but also continue building farms all around the world. So get this farm up and running again, make it bigger and better, and then create a whole industry to take care of the planet that takes care of us, because that's the only way we're going to be able to make it.